The NBA, much like any other sports league out there, is a far from perfect organization. There are constantly things happening with the commissioner, ownership, and/or players that make you scratch your head. However, there are some moments in NBA history that stick out far more than others. Why? Because they are so ridiculous, and also because one person had to act so recklessly that it seems unlikely that it ever would have happened without a moment of severe stupidity. Some things are as simple as a player injuring himself in a silly way, or a single person popping off at the mouth, while others are franchise destroyers and have crippled a team for a decade or more. So why not take a look at some of the dumbest moments in NBA history? But before we jump into some of the most boneheaded moments in NBA history, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Gilbert Arenas' gun dance salute. In the middle of the 2010 season, Gilbert Arenas was dealing with both the decline of his game and heat from the league after an incident involving him and Javaris Crittenton, in which he pulled out a gun in an argument over a poker debt. Arenas, before the league had decided to suspend him, decided to poke fun at the whole thing soon after it happened, as he pretended to shoot his teammates during the introduction of a game soon after the incident. Needless to say that then Commissioner David Stern was not pleased in any way. Michael Jordan's comeback. Was this the Jordan we all knew and loved? Not really. But was his comeback terrible? We have to say that for his third stint in the NBA, Michael Jordan's time on the Wizards wasn't the worst we've ever seen, but it wasn't the Michael Jordan we knew. Did it ruin his legacy? No, but it's always disappointing to see a star go out in such an ugly fashion on a different team. Jordan, as a 38 to 40-year-old man, put up just over 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists a game for the Wizards. However, the team never made the playoffs and finished an uninspiring 37-45 both years he suited up. Plus, MJ looked really weird in the Wizards uniform. It just wasn't the same. Dan Gilbert's guarantee. Dan Gilbert was not happy that LeBron left the Cavs the way he did. He took it as an insult, and the city of Cleveland temporarily despised him. In what is now the most infamous open letter in the history of the league, Dan Gilbert went into a rage against LeBron James after James decided to leave Cleveland via free agency. Gilbert, apparently riled up that LeBron hadn't informed the team beforehand that he would be leaving, fired off at the superstar, claiming in true internet rage fashion with all caps that the Cavs would win a championship before LeBron James did. It was a nice thought and a reassurance to Cavs fans that he had that much dedication to the team, but realistically, that wasn't going to be the reality we all live in, as we saw LeBron win multiple times with Miami, while Cleveland floundered as a last-place squad. Monta Ellis's Ridin' Dirty. When you're a multi-millionaire baller, what is something that you will splurge on? A yacht, a mansion, or maybe a moped? Who doesn't like a fun ride on a moped every once in a while with the wind whipping in your hair, right? Surely Monta Ellis does. However, seeing as how riding any kind of dangerous vehicle is prohibited under most general player contracts, it seems as if the ex-guard would be wise enough to stay away from them. When Ellis came down with a torn ligament in his ankle, and it was mysteriously explained as an injury that happened while Ellis was working out at home, details were a bit murky. It later came out that Ellis had crashed his scooter, leading to an injury that required surgery and a suspension without pay for Ellis. I wonder if he had Chamillionaire's Ridin' Dirty on, while dangerously riding around on his hog. Tony Allen tears his ACL after the play. There once was a time when the Tony Allen that we all know was the Tony Allen that Boston fans knew. Yes, he was a stellar defender, but he also did things every now and then that just made you scratch your head. The one thing that takes the cake has to be when Allen went up for an uncontested dunk late in a game against the Indiana Pacers back in 2007. After the referee had blown the whistle, Allen continued driving to the rim, went up and threw down a dunk. But instead of basking in the crowd's reaction, all he got to hear were gasps as he landed awkwardly and ended up tearing his ACL, ruining the rest of his season. I hope that dunk was worth it for him. Isaiah Thomas in any front office. Ah, the days of the New York Knicks dysfunction. Oh wait, I feel like it's been one continuous nightmare from his time to the present. What could possibly be worse for the league in terms of front office hijinks than anything Isaiah Thomas did? Let's see, let's make some bad trades, terrible free agent signings, and a sexual harassment lawsuit, and you've got a Knicks fan's worst nightmare. Over the course of just over 5 years, Thomas got raked over the coals in the New York media for his bad signings. Remember Jerome James? Or trading Eddie Curry and some dumpster garbage for Tim Thomas, and picks that would become LaMarcus Aldridge and Joakim Noah? This wasn't just a terrible call of judgment for the Knicks, but for the league as well. Malice at the Palace. Arguably the most controversial moment and the dumbest act in NBA history, the infamous brawl between the Indiana Pacers, Detroit Pistons, and a good number of attending fans. And it sparked when Ron Artest was hit with a thrown beer cup and retaliated in the worst way by leaping into the stands, and infamy to find the culprit. He punched the wrong person and kickstarted a horrendous free-for-all. We are all thankful for his therapist. Mental health is no joke.
I definitely want to thank my doctor, Dr. Sandy, my psychiatrist. She really helped me relax a lot. Thank you so much.
J.R. Smith. The Cleveland Cavaliers had done everything right. With 4.7 seconds left in the fourth quarter of Game 1 of the NBA Finals at Oracle Arena, they trailed the Golden State Warriors 107-106 as George Hill went to the free throw line. Thanks largely to a monstrous effort from LeBron James, the Cavaliers had a golden opportunity to steal the series opener. Hill made the first free throw, tying the game, and what happened next will never be forgotten in Cleveland. Hill missed the second free throw, and guard J.R. Smith grabbed an offensive rebound. Instead of going right up with a shot, he retreated to the perimeter. James screamed at him, initially calling for the ball and then pointing towards Hill. By the time Smith passed it to Hill, there wasn't enough time for Cleveland to get a shot off. Smith was caught on camera telling James he thought the Cavs were ahead. Given the circumstances, this might be the worst low IQ moment of all time, especially because it was during the closing moments of an NBA Finals game. You know, JR was probably more worried about laying the pipe than laying the ball in at the time. Check out some of these videos.